can tell you these word edgeables are fabulous. And do you know, it's the simplicity that really makes them so awesome. So let me just show you a couple of cards to kind of whet your appetite, and then I'm going to get straight into showing you a very, very basic demo. So can you see the whole idea is you've got this fabulous edge on your card. So this is going to stand up beautifully. You've got the sentiment incorporated in a really unique place, whether it's on the side or whether it's over the bottom of your card like this. I love this idea with the acetate and the floating part. Now, you could use them to do like this one's nice because it's like a stepper card with your sentiment on the base of the stepper, or, and I just love this one, a gatefold card where we've put them on the outsides of the gatefold. So use the same, you can either use the same one or two different ones around the outsides of a gatefold. So let me just show you how you would use this in its most simple form, okay? Now, if I just show you the dies themselves, essentially, if we just measure this, I always like to do it on my little mat here. They are 6 inches wide, right? So I'm going to make myself a base card, which is 6 inches wide, right? So if I just put this, let's have a look. If we fold this over, let's do it 6 by 4-ish, right? So if I do this 4 inches, and then I'm going to bring my guillotine in, and I'm going to trim this to 6 inches wide. Yep, and then by 4 inches here, all right? So a 6 by 4 card, all right? Then what we're going to do is we're going to bring the best wishes, and this will line up. Can you see it's going to line up beautifully on there? So whether you want to do it right at the bottom of the card so the card still stands up, or I'll show you how to pop a bit of acetate in. Now, little tip, when you're holding this in place with a bit of tape, put the tape on the bottom part of the card, because essentially this is what's going to get cut away. So when we bring this on, pop this in our plates here. Now I'm using these in the junior. They all work beautifully well in the junior. They're going to work fantastically well if you want to use them in your large Gemini machine. I mean, they will fit through your mini in your Gemini Go. However, the idea is that you're positioning them in a place on a card. So for all the die itself will fit through, you want to position them, so you want a good sized card to position this onto. So you see, we bring this on here. Now, as simple as this gets, you see, this then lifts away. I should have done a little bit of a pop of the die before we go, but look how easy it is to just lift all of these parts out. All right, so you're going to just sit and pop all of these out. I won't sit and pop them all out this second. By the way, these letters are going to be brilliant for you to use if you want to paper piece them back into a card at some point, right? And because it's not a complex die, all of these pieces will release out of the card absolutely no problem. Even all these little, like I like to put these little dotty bits in and knock them all out, right? So, I should have totally run this through another time to emboss it, and these pieces will just fall out in front of your eyes. Save you the 20 seconds it's taken me to do a little bit of poking, right? So once you've got all the pieces out, if you wanted to make this, see, this would make a wonderful card just standing up on the side on its own like that. And because there's a little bit, and if I put a little bit of black card in the background, you will see this a little bit easier. Can you see? You can really see it stand out now, right? Or if we want to make it a card like this that's going to stand up, all you need to do, I've got some construction acetate here. If you don't have any construction acetate, my recommendation would be it should be absolutely something you want to be keeping in, because it's oh, there's my pokey tool on the floor, because it's such a handy tool to have, right? So I'm going to take this in here, and I'm going to bring this along, and we're going to cut this to 4 inches, right? And we're going to do 4 by 6, because that's what size our card was, right? And the 4 by 6 is going to go into our card. Now, bear in mind, it's important to use the right adhesive all the time. So I'm going to use my straight tape adhesive for all of these parts. Oh, that one's on its way out. So you're going to use your straight tape adhesive for coming down here. But then what you can do, I don't appear to have one of my dotty tape pens today. Oh, you've got one, have you, Joe?
Sorry, I stole it. How'd you catch it?
Oh, that's what, go and catch. I'll catch. Way, off we go, right? So I'm going to use my dotty tape pen behind where we've got all of the text so that you won't actually see it. Now here we go, where's my acetate? Right, so my acetate just goes in the back. You can see it's exactly the same size as the card, so that then when we stick this down, that then gives me the illusion of the floatingness, right? So if you want it to float, that is what you're going to do to have the illusion of it floating. Now, that was literally the basics of how it works. Let me show you now a few cards. So we've done this one. You could be doing, you know, I talked about that stepper where you have the, you just do a double step and then we cut it onto the front of the step. Here is a larger card with that floating with the acetate behind, like what I've just shown you. Doesn't it look fantastic when you've got that illusion and it's a little bit higher up? Now this, I think, is really, really good. I love the idea of a trifold card and then we put the cut onto the front of a trifold card. You could be cutting it just into the front of a card and layering it up with different coloured paper. Can you see this one here where we've just cut the hello, reversed it and cut the hello on the other side? This is just showing it, like I said, with a thank you, with the coloured card behind. I really think the other colour sets it off. Just cut them out and stick them on the front of a card. You know, and you don't have to take them all straight. This one's been put on a slightly jaunty angle. There's a lot of these I've repeated a few times. Now, one of my favourite cards to do, I'm going to see if I can find it here. And actually, I've got quite a few favourites, haven't I? I love this one here, right? So I love doing the Z fold card and having that cut along the base. In fact, you know what? I will get myself ready. Why don't I show you that one as another demo now? All you're going to do, I do it all on this, or do it all on the one, right? Let's just get a piece of cardstock. We are going to fold our card at the halfway point, which is just one little notch before the 6, right? And then we're also going to fold it at the quarter-way point, which is the 3. Now, so it's not exact, right? But it's going to be close enough. Or, the other way, if you want to do it a little bit more precisely, so I'll just show you that there. Let me do it on a piece of black card. Yes, I've got a piece of black here. So what I like to do, if you want to get it a little bit more exact, push it up to the edge, just pop it out a tiny little bit. You might not even have seen that. So this is pushed right up to the edge and then I just knocked it out a tiny little way. Then I'm going to do my 6 inches, all right, and my 3. And that should pretty much give me an accurate halfway fold. Yeah, it does. And a fold back, right? Then what you're going to do, turn this round, and we're going to cut this to 6 inches square, which cuts me a little piece off the bottom, all right? So can you see you've got that little piece that's left over? Now, I've got the white one that we did. Here's the white one that we did. So let's do exactly the same, okay? You're going to take it to 6 inches. You're going to cut that little piece off the bottom. And if I show you how this whole card works, so there is your base card, right? And all you do is you flip this one over and then it connects onto the front. And that's how you get the Z fold, right? Show you that once more. Here's my black one. So I've essentially folded it in half and then done it as a fold back from one full sheet of A4 or 8.5 by 11. This flips over, sticks down at the 2 sides, and that gives you a Z fold. Now what I'm going to do is, the reason I showed you it twice is I'm going to do one in white and one in the black, right? So my white is just a tiny little bit too long here. So all I'm going to do is just trim off the edge. And that's just because, did you see I did the white not quite at the right size? Yep. So here we go. Right. So there is our base. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add on one of our dies. So bear in mind these dies are 6 inches. So it's just the perfect size to do this card with. So all we do is we pop this on here. And I'm going to have it just under there. And then what this will do, obviously, you know when I said this would fit in your mini? This is how awesome it is, just going to fit perfectly in your mini. So it literally becomes a super quick and super simple project. So feed that right through the mini. And you're going to need to cut it twice, all right? So we've cut it once on the top half. This just lifts away. And I'm going to just try and peel this off. And then tap out all my extras, right? I'm going to line this up again. So I'm just going to fold that over because we don't want, this is why it's brilliant to have it on the mini. I want the with love on here And then I want to join this up, but I'm not quite going to cut right off the edge. So let's pop this out the edge of my machine when can you see when we get to the fold line? So I'm going to stop it at the fold line and I'm going to send this through. I tell you what, I love the idea that you could absolutely whip up one of these cards, Joe, in about 10 minutes straight. It's that quick and that easy to do. So this whole thing falls away. That is going to peel out of here. Then here's my card to bring it back in. And I've got my little bit of tape down this side. And then also a little bit of tape on here. But remember, you want that dotty tape pen as well along this part, right? And then this is going to connect on here. And then this folds in. And this half here just connects beautifully well onto the base there. So there we go. You can see just how easy it is to do. I've got a right mess going on here. But look how easy it was to do that Z fold card. It's just about having the technique, okay? Now, when you've got a super simple card like this, now I've done it in black and white to really show this off. But you imagine that we'd use some of our beautiful papers to decorate this. And then you could just take a couple of these. Oh, yes. In fact, let's get that out, right? So we've got our glue gun. So all I'm going to do is pop a little bit of glue. Oh, we need a new glue stick in there. I'm going to pop a little bit of glue onto the base here, right? And that is just going to give me that lovely set onto the back here. That looks absolutely incredible, right? And then if you're taking that with a flower and then you just wanted a nice, you know, if you've got some nice bits of coloured paper, for example, some nice pattern papers, I think this one would look really nice. A little bit of a pattern paper in the background on that one there, you can see is going to really set it off. But I just wanted you to see how, just with a few tools, these dies, if you've got really simple cards, because the sentiment is incorporated in. With every card, you've got your background paper, you've got your focal piece, and you've got your sentiment. When you can make the focal piece and the sentiment all one and the same thing, cards become quick and easy to do and really effective. I mean, these are the sort of cards whereby if you've forgotten somebody's birthday, you can chalk this out in like 10 minutes. Look, here's a little bit more with that flower forming on. This is just one of those gatefold cards where you fold it in and then you're just going to ink along the edge, highlight the edge. We've got that gorgeous flower in the corner. Just looks wonderful.